let's do a little recap as to connect what we have done in the last session, and then with today's session. So, if you recall in the last session, we talked about equity principle. All of you, I'm sure, remember that. Simply said, equity principle is what? To be very fair, right? The way we pay equity can be in different ways, but today we are talking about compensation. So, the way we pay, that is, how do we pay salaries within the organization? So, in order to be fair, equitable, so we have to establish first, what was that we talked about? Ec- Internal equity. We talked about internal equity. Now, what is internal equity? That means how are we paying salaries within the organization? How are we paying salaries of one job in relation to the other? Are we paying a job higher? The effort is less, but higher salary, in relation to the other job. So when we look at internal equity, that is, how are we paying salaries in relation to the other job? We need to first of all, simple. How will we pay? I need to understand, hey, if I have 10 jobs, what is their worth? Which is of higher worth, which is of lower worth. So once I know that X job or HR manager is a higher job than HR associate because it does more work, not just by title, then I'll be paying more. Now, how do I establish this worth? We did a technique or we used a tool. What is that? Any
Well, I think point was
point method
the
and job grading.
job
We
grade.
did two methods. So, job evaluation is the process of establishing the worth of the job. So, please understand that before you are saying, I'm going to be very fair in the way I'm going to pay my jobs in the organization, you have to understand which job is higher, which job is lower. So, once I get to know which job is higher and which job is lower, then I know that I will pay higher the job, higher the salary, lower the job, lower the salary. But how am I going to establish? It is through this. I have to use a scientific tool. So this is job evaluation. I can use a ranking method. I can use a job grading method. I can use a point method. Now we did both the method, job grading and point method. Now when we did job grading, it was, what did we do? We created a template. We said identify compensable factors, and then we said write descriptors, decide how many grades you want, whether you want narrow banding like 10, 15, 20 grades, or you want a broad banding like 4 or 5 grades. Okay. And then evaluate the job and put them. It's all qualitative. If you recall, it was all qualitative. That's why this method is also qualitative method. The other method where we said we are assigning points, quantification. So it, yeah. So the other method was point method, where we said, hey, an HR team lead could be 220 points or an HR manager 345. So we created a template which is common across the function. Okay. Now, this template can also be common. Also, it can be okay for my supervisory level. There are only 2 or 3 levels, and so I'm going to have a template just for my shop floor people, or I will have just for my technical people. So depending on the complexity of the organization, I can have this template. And you know how we did, we quantified, we took market data, then we did regression, which is a statistical tool by calculating slope and intercept. And we said, hey, we can calculate how much we need to pay. In this way, what has happened? When we do regression, it takes into account the internal work of the job, which is points, and the market data, which is also competitive, and then it gives you what is the salary you need to pay. That means internally fair and equitable, externally competitive. Now, I did not talk about market data, how we calculate, what we calculate, but I just gave you the market data. So, Yogesh asked me a question. So, now we are getting into that, and we'll definitely slowly get into that a little later. So, this is what we did last time. Yes. And just give me a reaction, thumbs down, thumbs up, so that it becomes much more convenient for me to know that, hey, you all are understanding and where we are. Okay. So we constructed, if you notice, we did that cluster analysis. We constructed what? From the market data, we constructed grades. In job grading also, we said, hey, when we say constructed grades, that means they should have a salary range of min and max. So we said, hey, like for example, can you see the lower point will become the minimum and the higher point will become the maximum. Can you see my slide? Minimum, maximum. So you will see that these are all the grades with their salary ranges, min and maximum. Now, all grades need not have the same range. When I said same range, what is it? That means the difference between min and maximum need not be the same for all grades. I will explain that to you in a moment. So I don't want to get into that. Okay, right now, because for market we'll do. Right? Yeah. Uh, so again, if you see, we are talking about salary ranges and also the overlaps. Overlap is what, where, when will the next grade start? Will it start from the maximum, or will it start from the midpoint, or will it start with a little above the midpoint? So that is again something when we are doing market, we are going to talk about it. Okay. All right. Having said this, this is what we did. We'll talk about hay. Has anybody heard of hay? No? Anybody?
Yes.
Devi or Yogesh? Hay has been bought by Conferry. Have you
Yes.
heard of Conferry? Conferry? Yeah,
Yes.
somebody is saying yes. Yes. Who's this?
Me,
This is
I have
Raj
heard
Kumar.
about hay model. Yeah.
Hay model. Hay. So please don't think hay. Hay is another method of doing job evaluation, which is absolutely just like the point method, what you have done. Just like the point method. Now I'll tell you what is the difference between hay and what you have done. Okay. In hay, hay is a proprietary. You know what is a proprietary? That means I have actually done something, invented, and this is my proprietary. Right? Now you cannot actually copy that. It's a proprietary model. Got it? Huh? Now, and who was the person who actually developed this? It was Edward Hay. He was the one who developed this model, and it became a proprietary model. Okay. They actually wanted to give what? A method for evaluating the way we pay several jobs in the organization. And this was in mid 20s. So in mid 20s, what kind of era we had? Industrial era. What kind of organizations we had? We had mostly what? Manufacturing organizations, right? So they wanted to have a system which could be validated, which could be justified in the way we are paying salaries to people. They said, hey, you must have some kind of a scientific system. You just can't say X I will pay so much amount, Y I will pay so much. At least we should be able to justify and tell why are we paying that kind of an amount. Okay. Now, so what does it have typically when we are talking about hay? What does it have again? Three compensable factors, major three compensable factors. We'll say, ma'am, we did five, we did six. Now, the three compensable factors are what? It's a proprietary model. So know-how. It's also called KH. Problem solving. It is also called PS. Accountability. It's also called ACC. So three compensable factors. Now these three compensable factors have again sub-compensable factors. What? Sub-compensable factors. What are they? Know-how has three sub-compensable factors. What are they? Technical part. He says for every job, you have to have some input. Say, for example, Kutub is an HR ops head. To do that job, he needs to have some technical part, some HR, knowledge, compensation, or HR business partner. He needs to have technical part. He also needs, he's an HR ops head. He has a team. He also needs to have a managerial part, right? He also needs to have a what behavior, human relations part. So he says in the know-how, these are the three inputs: technical part, managerial part, and human relations. Got it? Very clear? Just give me a thumbs up, guys. It gives me that confidence saying that, yes, you have understood. Next is when you're applying this HR, Kutub is in that particular job, he's applying that knowledge. Now, throughput, in order to do that job, he goes through certain problems, etc. How is he going to apply that knowledge? So, what kind of a environment, thinking environment, and what kind of a challenges? So, there are two sub-compensable factors: thinking environment, analytical chain, challenges. Ultimately, end you are using this input through the throughput outcome. He has some deliverables, right, Kutub? In his job, or Yogesh has certain deliverables. He is a shared service provider. So at the end of the day, when he uses the technical know-how and does all that shared service job, he has certain deliverables. That is the accountability. So in that accountability, there are three subcompensable factors: the freedom to act, what is the impact, and what is the magnitude. Now, in here, the advantage is that it comes ready-made compensable factors. It also comes with a pre-set what template of all the points. You cannot change anything. You cannot change anything. Okay? It comes, you don't have to sit and write all your compensable factors, etc. But think of the time when it was made. It was made in the mid 20s, where there was not much of a competition, where the market was not dynamic, etc. Now, these three compensable factors, as I said, technical know-how is the input, problem solving is the process, and accountability is the output. Now, I will tell you how do you then calculate total points. So what happens, this Hay guy, when you are using a Hay method, you don't have to do anything. The Hay consultant will come and he will give you a questionnaire, which is very, very thorough, rigid. It captures everything. You cannot really fake. Now, under know-how, I've already told you that it has three things. Okay. Now, how we calculate points? Just as the way we did calculating points. So there are three. Can you see this, or you want me to make it bigger? Can you see this, guys? Huh? Okay.
Yes,
Now
yes.
just nice. Take a minute. Now I'll go. Okay. Now under know-how. So what happens is when you are calculating, let me use a annotator. For any job, you are going to calculate points know-how. Okay. You have to calculate points for know-how. How will you calculate points for know-how? So you have to calculate on 3 dimensions. So, oh, sorry. Okay. Why is it worse? Okay. What is this? Now, in a hay, this one might look little hazy. This is as you write it, compensable factor of know-how and the points which have been calculated. Now, you tell me on how many dimensions it will be there. 3 dimensions. One is technical, right? Managerial and behavioral. Now, how will you calculate? Say, for example, I've calculated know-how for a position, say, a finance manager, whatever, 264 points. How did I arrive? First is technical. How will you calculate technical? Technical, how will you calculate? That is, can you see what are the levels? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Got it? These are the levels for technical. Now at A level, you will see that the technical skill requirement is very primary. The kind of skill requirement is literacy and just some skills needed. And training needed is very short. At a B level, it is elementary and so on. At a F level, seasoned, specialized, technical, disciplinary proficiency, advanced college study, or this. Okay? Now you will go through the questionnaire and job description and decide what level do you need for technical. So, for example, I've said E. Okay? E. So, E is where? This one. So, have you noticed? This is the one, E. Now, next, what is the managerial requirement? So, you have one. So, T is just an individual performer. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, again, if you go to this, I plus 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, go to this. Okay, this block. Now, the next one will be what kind of behavioral human relation skills I will require? Basic or important or critical? Okay, now let us see for an example where it is stated here. So, this is 3. That means basic, huh? Critical. So, critical. I've written critical. So, what is the number written here? 264. So this is how you will compute. You don't have to do anything. But how will you decide E and 1 plus and 3? You will decide on that questionnaire where you where or the job description where it is very, very, structured, and you have to actually go thoroughly into what every job does in terms of technical, managerial, human. So you have got your points 264. Now let us go to the next compensable factor, which is what? Problem solving. How will you calculate problem solving? Okay. How many compensable factors it has? 2 factors. Thinking environment and analytical. Again, you have a preset. So in thinking environment, levels are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That means A means it's strictly routine work. Job is like this. B means routine, semi-routine, this way. And in challenge, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Repetitive, patterned, interpolative, adaptive, uncharted. You can't change anything. So from a predefined continuum, it goes to a created solution. So now so there is a little difference in calculating this problem solving. How will you calculate? 2 sub-factors. So now if you notice, the first is you have to calculate this part. Say, for example, he says a particular job is at a D level. Okay. So I'm looking at what? A, B, C, D level. Right? I've taken a D level. Now, the next one is I'm saying thinking challenge. Where is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it repetitive? Is it patterned? So on and so forth. So I will look at, so it is at 3. So that means 1, 2, 3. So how much is written here? How much is written here?
33.
Huh?
33.
33%.
Yeah.
So in here, problem solving you calculate as percentage of know-how. So you have to calculate 33% of 264 is how much? Quickly, there are so many people who can calculate. What is 33% of 264? Come on.
87, ma'am.
Yogesh?
87.
Yeah.
87.
So you know how we have arrived at 87? So problem solving is how much? 87. Next, how will you calculate accountability? There are again 3 factors. 3
Ma'am, I have one
factors.
question.
Yeah.
Ma'am, why we have taken 33, not 29?
Not 29. Because based on that questionnaire and job description, I'm saying that it is D plus D. So you have again option here, you see, depending on your questionnaire, whether this is this one or this one. Got it? For everything, D plus or E plus or F plus will be this. Got
Ma'am,
it? Yeah. Tell me.
yeah, I
But
have a
how did you
question
arrive?
here.
Only through my question. Responses. Yeah, somebody says so.
Yeah, I have a question here, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, is this a predefined table, or it can be changed?
I just told you that this is a predefined, you can't change anything. So, therefore, the accuracy of the total point value you will arrive is based on the questionnaire they prepare, the Hayes questionnaire, which is absolutely very, very consistent. It takes into consideration every point of the job in such a way that there is no question of faking.
Okay.
Whatever I'm showing is all predetermined, preset. You cannot change anything. So if you notice, everything is so detailed
Yeah.
that the Hay consultant will be able to circle where this person is, where this job is. Sorry. Okay. Now, after having done that, I will come to that. Again, they have a system of checking what is called validation. Now, for example, Abhijit, who is working as a maybe, Abhijit, your title is what? What is your title, Abhijit? Or say, for example, Abhijit, what's your
Senior
title?
Executive HR.
Huh?
Senior Executive HR.
Senior Executive
Senior
HR.
Executive HR.
Okay. I have calculated points for you, know-how, problem solving, and accountability. And I've arrived at the total point value like this. I've arrived at a total point value. Say, for example, so I calculate know-how, I calculate problem solving, I calculate accountability, and say for this position 466. Now they have a very good system of validating. Now the advantage I told you with Hayes, they have market data, they have done what is it called the job evaluations for different industries and for different jobs at what different locations. So therefore, now a similar job in a similar industry, in a similar geography, if I've come to your organization, I've done the entire exercise and I've arrived at 466, they will also check with the other industry jobs, same similar industry jobs, whether it's the same. Okay, if there is a gap, they're not going to just say, hey, this is wrong. No, they will go back to the drawing board of a questionnaire, maybe again ask the job incumbent or that position as to what it is being done. So, what does it mean? They have data to validate. Are you with me? I think it was who Abhijit who asked this question or somebody.
Right.
Are you with me now, Yogesh? Huh? Yogesh, you are mute. You are on the mute. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. So, I'm with you, ma'am. But yes, here it says accountability example, and in the previous table as well, it is saying example. So I was just confused whether it's a predefined table which we can refer for the ranking system, or it can be changed. That is
Yogesh,
where the yeah.
Yogesh, all this, you cannot change anything, whatever I'm showing you from here.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay,
We
from
cannot
here,
change all this. Okay.
whatever I'm showing you from here, this, 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 this. This
Okay.
is the preset points which you have actually done, but this in here, this is the way it is, okay, and you cannot change. What is that a consultant does is only circling, and I'm also explaining how do they do that on these three factors. Here it is, right? I'm showing you.
Yeah.
Say for example, this a particular job has the total point value for this position, which is maybe a financial manager, is points of know-how. Points, again, problem solving is a percentage of know-how because it's an application, they say. So they will calculate and compute, which is 87 points plus 115 points. So the total point value is 466. Just like the way you have done, you have identified compensable factors. And then what did you do? You wrote descriptors, then you created a template, and then you evaluated and arrived at the point value. Okay.
Yeah.
There you have flexibility, and here you don't have flexibility. So the
I think
disadvantage
it's good
is
actually.
pardon?
I think
Yeah.
it's good because if there is no flexibility and questionnaire remains same for across the position, across the job, so I think because if we get the market salary, then definitely our points will be matching with the market salary. Then there won't be any variance in the R square as well.
No.
I think it
Now the
answers my
question
question.
here, yeah, the question here is there is no flexibility. No flexibility. So there is a slight disadvantage. Considering that today's organization so dynamic, fluid, changing with the market dynamic. So what happens? Most of the organizations in the mid-20s, because there was not much of a fluidity, market was constant, manufacturing organization jobs don't change so much. They've been using hay. But today, there's a still, you know how world is changing. With the AI coming in, AI has become so hot. So if I say, no, I'm going to evaluate, I'm going to use these points and give them. But my dear, the supply is so tight. The demand for this position is so high. So I have to pay as per the market. So it's a
Yes.
combination of both market, etc. Yes, still organizations use this as a basic, but yet it has its own slight disadvantage. Are you with me? It has a slight
Yes.
disadvantage. Consider your organization. If your organization is fairly, consistent, not much of change, okay? It's not very, very dynamic, but well, competition has taken over all the organization. Change, what was yesterday, technology is obsolete today. Cognizant, how much of change? To the extent that they do so many employee engagement surveys, even with the clients, with the workforce globe. You have a team sitting, global employee engagement surveys. So you use AI, and also you use survey platforms to get data. So it's so different, because you want to, then you have to ensure that your people should stay back. So you will, where are you at market, median, mode, etc. things. So yes, it's very good, but and you should also be aware of it as a compensation person. Are you with me, guys? Clear? Okay. All right.
Ma'am, just one query. Can you please? I'm really sorry, just could not understand it. If you can just show me one more time, this any one example to understand how you arrive at these points, just once.
Nishant,
Absolutely, Abhijit.
Nirmala, these questions, Nishant, these are very specific and requires lot of explanations, right? So we will be short on time for the session. So please park
Okay.
it, and then we will do it.
No,
One to
what
one.
I'm planning to do is, anybody who's interested in a hair, I don't
No,
mind
actually,
doing a session after any time. Vilma will fix up, and
Ah,
especially just the evaluation, job evaluation. I will do it. Okay, Abhijit?
oh
Huh?
yes, ma'am, that's
Or
okay.
you can take it up on a
yes, ma'am.
personal
Actually,
basis
with
also.
questionnaire, yeah, yeah. With an example from the questionnaire start, because the question is the start of this grading. So from the question itself, it start means then will be very useful for us.
Sure. Abhijit, we will do this. Absolutely, you are welcome. What I will do is that with Vilma's, anytime we can fix it up, or you can also take it up on a one-on-one basis. I will explain to you, because learning is something, sharing something which I love to do. So no issue. You can always come back and you can let me know. Got it?
Uh,
And
yes,
as
ma'am, that
rightly
would.
stated by Vilma, we are tight on
Yes,
the
yes,
time. Okay.
understand,
And
understand.
I
So, ma'am,
hope
just
you will.
request whenever you have time, just give some half an hour's time. So we want to understand it in deep. We can have all in one group and we can understand. This is
Absolutely,
what my
Abhijit.
recommendation.
Not half an hour. I can spend 1 to 2 hours. No worry. Okay.
Oh, thanks. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you
Thank
for your support, guys. Thank you.
thank
Okay. So, and this is how I will take on this as a special thing and explain this entire concept. Okay. Now let us come to, guys, um, quickly about this so when we are designing a pay structure, we said internally fair and externally we have to be competitive. So how can we be competitive? Simple. We have to gather market data. So every organization, when it says about compensation market, you will have a compensation philosophy. Essentially, when we talk about compensation philosophy, what does it mean? Hey, what is my business objective? So therefore, if this is my business objective, what kind of people I need? So if these are the kind of people I need, then how will I pay? What kind of a pay vis-a-vis the market? Then will all my positions will be paid the same way depending on supply demand, or what is it? Then who is my market first of all? Then what kind of a mix will I have? Direct pay, indirect pay. Again, that is definitely dependent on my business objective. More base pay, less variable, or more variable pay, less. And even in variable pay, will I have short term, long term, etc. And how will my jobs be evaluated? What kind of behaviors will be rewarded? Is it teamwork, collaboration, innovation, creativity? So these are some things which a compensation person actually thinks about before even formulating a compensation philosophy, which has to be aligned with your business strategy. I told you compensation does not work in isolation, but in alignment with the business strategy. So when we talk about that, quickly, let me show you that every organization will also have a compensation pay policy which I'm sending it to Vilma. She will send it to you. Typically, a compensation pay policy will be defined and documented in every organization, which will talk about, which typically talks about, what all, how will you pay? It talks about pay, variable pay, long-term pay, cash benefits. This is how it looks. All the job grades. This document will be shared to you. Okay. Variable pay, benefits. This is just an example, but it's a very good document. You can actually use this for your own pay policy. Okay. It defines everything in terms of, so there is, compensation is something, because when there is severance, the person can actually ask for many things. Hey, this is what I needed. So if you document everything, this is what it is, this is what you will get, this is how much it is, cash benefits, all the practices, etc. Okay, so this is how it will look, a compensation policy, and you will get it. Now, having said that, yeah. So you need to understand few things before we get into the the market survey. What is that? One is, what is the salary range? Anybody who understands what is a salary range? See, you may be in a salary range of, say, for example, 10,000. If I say, what is the salary range here? Can you tell me the salary range, anybody? 60,000 to 90,000. So this is the salary range. When we say range, so that means it has a minimum and a maximum. Then when I say spread, what is spread? Spread is width. Width. So how will I find out the width? Simple, no? This maximum, what? Minus minimum by minimum. It will give you a, what is the spread or the width of the salary range. In a narrow banding, the width is very narrow. That means the difference between maximum and minimum is very narrow. That is why it has many bands. In a broad banding, the width is very broad. Okay. So this is the formula for calculating the width. Maximum minus minimum by minimum. For you all can take just a minute or two to do the same example. 90,000 minus 60,000 by 60,000 equal to 50% is the spread. Just give me a thumbs up if you have understood, guys, please. Okay. Clear? Okay, great. So you have understood this, right? How do you calculate the width? That is the spread. Now, there's one more what is the term you have to understand as a part of the compensation analytic? It's called a compa ratio. Anybody who's heard of compa ratio? Anybody? Compa ratio?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is compa ratio? For example, if I say for example, this is the minimum. Okay, 8,000. and this is the maximum. $8,000 and $12,000. This okay. So when we talk about compa ratio, you are taking a salary range. Let me. Can you see the screen? So you are taking a salary range. So for example, I will say the salary range is 8,000 to. I'm just giving you a figure. You can actually all of you do that. Now can I do this annotation? Let me see. Yeah, I think I can do an annotation here. Okay. Say, for example, can you do that? Yeah. So this is 8,000, and here 12,000. Okay. So this is your min and this is your max. So what will be a midpoint? Anybody can make out? Tell me.
10,000.
Pardon?
10,000.
Midpoint will be 10,000.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'll put here midpoint will be 10,000. So can I also have a point here?
10.
I'll just put. Okay. So this can be this will be your 9,000. Okay. And this can be your 11,000. All right. Okay. Now, what is your range? 8,000 to 12,000, minimum, maximum. The midpoint is 10,000. I think I put as 1,000, right? 110 is less here. Okay. Now, to calculate your compa ratio, it is the ratio of your salary with reference to the midpoint. So, how will you calculate? That means 8,000. If my salary is 8,000, okay, divided by 10,000, which is the midpoint, equal to, so how much will it be?
0.8.
0.8, or it can also be, can it be 80%? Huh? It can also be 80%, right? Yogesh is giving me a queer look. Okay. Can you calculate compa ratio? That is the formula.
Right.
What is the formula?
Yes.
Base divided by the midpoint. Okay. Base divided by the midpoint. It's a ratio. So can you do, say, for example, for 9,000, if your base salary is 9,000, what will be the compa ratio? Quick.
0.9.
0.9. What will be for the midpoint of 10,000? It will be 1, or it will be 100%. What will be for 11,000? It will be 1.1. And for 12,000, it will be 1.2. Right? Now, so the formula is what?
Now I have a question.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm just going to, yeah. Who has a question? Let me just rub it.
Me. So
Yeah.
the compa ratio, it could be individual salary with respect to the midpoint as well as the average of the salary range. That's what you're displaying here. Average of the salary range with respect to a midpoint and individual.
No, I'm coming to that. I'm just first compensation. So I just want to give you a formula. Compa ratio means it is a ratio between the individual salary, okay, which is a base salary, divided by the midpoint of that band. Say, for example, Adil's salary is set 25,000 as a base salary. So if he has to calculate at what comp ratio is he, then the base salary of Adil, which is 25,000, divided by the midpoint of that salary range, which is his min max, not any of that salary range. Adil, is it clear? Adil?
Very clear, very clear. But what
Okay.
you were showing on the screen was an average of 2-3 data points, which is
No.
why.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that.
Okay.
So I'm coming to that now. Compa ratio is what? It will let you know, hey, vis-a-vis the midpoint of the salary range, where is your salary? Got it? Where is your salary? Say, for example, my compa ratio is 90%. What does it mean? Or 0.9. What does it mean? It is still before the midpoint. It is still before the midpoint. Okay? Or if it is 120%, that means you are sitting on a very high salary, almost closer to the maximum. Got it?
Understood.
Did you get that? So when you get recruited, so you are recruited at the closer, that is closer to minimum or little more. But by the time you are there in the particular grade with a number of years of experience, you get increments and your comp ratio goes up, right? Your comp ratio goes up. So the comp ratio gives you an indication of where you are vis-a-vis the midpoint. So that helps even organizations. If you recall, in increment time, they do the comp ratios calculations. Now you are wondering the next one. Comp ratios can be calculated at an individual level. Okay. This was at an individual. Now comp ratios can also be calculated. One second. At a team level. Now, comp ratios can also be done for a team level. Say, for example, there are 3 or 4 people working in the same position. Now, you want to calculate, hey, what is the average comp ratio for all these 3 people? So, somebody asked, ma'am, is it average? So, average, not of their salary. So, you are calculating the average comp ratio of those 3 people who are there, say, in payroll department. I want to know typically, hey, what's the comp ratio of these 5 payroll people? Okay. So what will I do? I will calculate the base salary of all the 5 people, add it up. And then I will also take into consideration what the midpoint, and then divide it. So if you notice here, when you are doing a average comp ratio, you have to calculate the base salaries and then divide them by the midpoint, and you will get a group comp ratio. Now, say for example, the group comp ratio is 1. That means what? So there are certain kind of differences in their base salaries. So therefore, the group comp ratio is 1, which is quite okay. It is more than the midpoint. You may ask me, why should we do that? Like, in fact, if you notice, for a particular function also, we can do that. Like, for example, we have done it here for a particular function. Entire function, I want to know, hey, what is the comp ratio for entire function? So I can actually add up all the base salaries, their midpoints, and calculate the comp ratio. Now, the biggest question here is, why should I calculate comp ratio? It gives me an understanding of the wage cost at an individual level, at a team level, at a group level, at a location level, as to am I paying high wage cost or are my people at a higher wage cost? So this comp ratio helps me to set my recruitment policy. It helps me to set my promotion policy. So typically what happens, there is a fundamental principle. If you notice here, when you recruit people, you typically recruit them at an 80% comp ratio. What does it mean now? Or an 80% comp ratio. What does it mean, guys?
80% below the mid-level.
No. So you have, so say for example, Devi, she's an HR manager. I am recruiting Devi for an HR manager at a particular grade. Now I'm going to look at that grade with a minimum and a maximum. Okay. Now Devi is coming with 10 years of experience. So I will say, hey, she's very good, excellent. So maybe 100% or a little more, because I'm also giving due reference to her experience. So I'm putting her at a little more beyond the midpoint. Are you getting me now? guys. But a person with fairly negligible experience, I'll say, hey, I will only give him an 80%. That means at the minimum of the salary of that range. But now, typically when you exceed, so when I say if I'm going to give them at the maximum of the salary, what will happen? When I actually give them the maximum of the salary, can you tell me what kind of a scenario will prevail? Yes, Adil?
There will be disparity.
Huh?
Internal disparity or
There will be
There
huge.
will be disparity.
the individual into the job.
There will be disparity. Not only that, but also
Cost impact.
next
Midpoint
year,
will go.
if I've already given her at a maximum, next year,
Oh,
where will I push her then? Unless and until I'm going to promote her. So therefore, you must have a comp ratio principle. So most of the organizations will have, hey, when I'm recruiting, at what level am I going to recruit? At what comp ratio? When I'm doing a promotion policy, at what comp ratio will I recruit? Okay. Now the most interesting part here is, let me just show you. Mhm. Why am I getting all this? Okay. Some problem with that thing again suddenly. I'll have to close some things. I want you all to calculate some comp ratios, guys. That's why I just wanted to show you. Okay. Though the comp ratio is here, can you take a minute to do this, guys? Your basic salary is also given and a midpoint is also given. Just for one or two cases. Can you quickly do? Then you will be able to understand the comp ratio, how to calculate. Are you doing?
yes.
Yeah. Say, for example, for this principal software engineer, you have to calculate his comp ratio. How will you calculate? Base salary divided by the midpoint, correct? So all of you are getting those comp ratios, 0.89, 0.88. So who is at a higher salary here, looking at a comp ratio?
Oliver.
Oliver, because he is at a midpoint. And who is at a lesser comp ratio, or lesser salary?
Elijah.
Jones.
Elijah.
Software development engineer.
Software development, Elijah.
You understood this. So now I'll tell you the most interesting thing. Okay. Okay. Now tell me which department has a higher comp ratio here.
Executive PA.
Executive PA.
Pardon?
Executive PA.
Executive PA. And which department has the lowest comp ratio?
Payments.
So it's an indication of, hey, where am I having a higher wage cost and where am I having a lesser wage cost? Now let me give you a very interesting thing. Typically what happens, why do we use and where do we use? For all of you who will go back, every time there is an annual increment, we as an HR head, we will calculate the comp ratio across all levels for all employees. Why do you think we'll calculate? Now what happens is, most of the organizations don't have a salary structure. So after some time when they scale up, you might find that you are paying without fairness, without any equity. Some people are getting more, some people are getting less, but the same job. Okay. So in order to bring about fairness, say for example, Abhijit is working as an HR manager, and even Adil is working as an HR manager, doing the same job. Doing the same job. Now, Adil, I have recruited him at what? Higher comp ratio. What? He is at 110%. But Abhijit is at only 90%. And both of them have got a rating of 4 in their performance appraisal. What? Rating scale of 4. Now, what will I do? I need to bring some fairness. So I will give less increment to person who's at a high comp ratio and higher increment to a person who's at a lower comp ratio. Are you understanding that logic? Please understand, right? So that's how you will find that a lot many times, even if you have got the same rank rating in a performance appraisal, you may have got a lesser increment as in compared to another person because you are at a higher comp and that person is at a lower comp ratio. The business will say, "Hey, I gave my rating. I don't know why this HR gave." But so typically, now if you look at this, this is your performance appraisal rating. 1 to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unacceptable to outstanding. This you understand? Performance rating in an appraisal interview, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, this is your comp ratio pay range. Less than 94%, more than, huh? So as you keep progressing, your comp ratio is increasing beyond midpoint. So what happens? Somebody who's got same, say for example, outstanding, he's at a 5 level. So the person with a comp ratio of 94 and less than that gets what? A higher percentage of increment as in compared to this person. Are you with me now?
Yes.
Are you very clear? I think there is like, I can show you this also I have. For example, maybe you will understand here better. Is this clear? Huh? This is your rating scale. Now, people who are lesser than 74, but got excellent, they will get 20% increment as in compared to a person who's at a comp ratio of 115 and more, with a rating of 4. He only gets a 5% increment. And therefore, in organizations, you will find you have to explain to them, hey, both doing the same job, but the person has been, so you need to bring them on par with the other person. So you can't do it in one go, in 1 year. So you will slowly and slowly take 2 or 3 years to bring these people on par. Are you with me, guys? Huh? You have understood how you use compare ratio? Okay. All right. So now, before, one more very interesting thing is you have to remember red circle and blue circle. Have you heard of this? Red circle and blue circle. Very important. Now, what is a red circle and what is a green circle? Now, please look at this figure. Say, for example, this is your salary band. Okay. Let me put a figure to it. Let me just put a figure to it. Annotate. This is your salary band. Again, I'll put here. I'll just put here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And okay. Okay. So your minimum is how much? I'm using the same so that you remember. Minimum for this salary band is how much?
8,000.
8,000. And maximum for this salary band is
12,000.
12,000. Okay. Now I'm recruiting what? Arjit. Now Arjit is okay to come for in this grade even at 7,000. But just because he is volunteering to join this organization even at 7,000, I should not take the advantage, just say, okay, fine, I will start him at 7,000. I have to give him, if I have found him fit for this grade, I have to start with what? How much? 8,000. I have to. That is called the green circle rule. It is called the green circle rule. You cannot, that's how people disturb the salary structures. They will bring a candidate and they find that candidate is not having a job and is willing to join at any salary. They will put him in a particular grade but offer him much lesser than the minimum. You cannot do that. You have to what? Start at a minimum. That's called the green circle rule. Got it? What is the red circle rule? Now, Devi has been working and she has reached 12,000. What is that? Maximum. Okay. Now, next year, what will happen? Her performance, she has done very well. Now, what will I do? How will I deal with it? I can only give her what?
Stationary increase.
Maximum of 12,000.
Huh?
Maximum 12,000.
I cannot give an increment. But if I don't give something, she'll be dissatisfied. So I can give a performance bonus equivalent to whatever rating is. Whatever rating is. Got it? But that cannot be factored into her base salary, which will increase again her range increment. So that means that red circle route. So typically organizations, what they do, they actually tamper with the salary grades and then they will give an increment. So they will find that, that their salary structure has gone. So you cannot change your salary structures, because if you have actually scientifically designed your salary structures, you can give him performance bonus, maybe for 1 year. Then after that, again, you have no promotion for that person. So another 2 years. But typically organizations, what they do, they will then upgrade them or put them in different lateral jobs where there is scope for again growth. Because if a person is here for a longer time, 2 years, 3 years, yeah, please. Yes, Jayesh. Because there are two options. Either I promote him, but he's not ready for promotion. That is why you must have a promotion policy saying 120% comp ratio, promotion. I can't promote a person who is at a midpoint, 100%. He has to be at least up to 120. Yeah. Somebody had a question, please. Yes, quick, guys, quick.
The same question I wanted to check. Unless until there is a promotion range, once the person has reached this 120%, they'll not be eligible for any like increase. Only the variable thing you are saying.
No.
So it
Devi,
cannot
what
be
I said,
beyond
no.
age.
What I
Why
said
I'm saying is
that
we are
if you have reached the maximum of that range, you cannot give increment, but you can always give year-on-year performance bonus. But it is not a good strategy to keep that person for more than 2 years or 3 years, only giving
that's what
performance bonus, because the person gets demotivated. You have to
Yeah.
quickly look out, should I promote him? Or should I shift him into another organization? Or should I upgrade his skills and then put him somewhere else? So organizations start, if he's a good performer. Otherwise, then they'll say, hey, you will give them a golden shake. No?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so to say,
Yeah.
ma'am, the structuring would be with respect to base salary. Means when we are drawing a structure, it is always relating to base salary.
That's a very good question you asked. Who asked this question?
Arijit.
Arjit, very good question, and also for others. Guys, remember, everything is on base salary. Everything is when we talked about base salary. It is not linked to variable. Variable is all extra. If you do extra work, if you do extra performance, that is different. But all these things are planned. That structure, salary structure is your base salary. Got it? Guaranteed pay.
Is it okay? Guaranteed, understood.
Guaranteed pay.
Base.
But guaranteed pay will be broken up into various components for the sake of tax. You want to use the tax advantage so that your net salary is higher. Otherwise, what happens? It will get taxed. So again, base salary is broken up into different components. Got it, Adil?
Yes. Can I ask a very quick question?
Please ask.
Okay, so we have outliers all the time who are sitting at the top of the maximum range. How about giving inflationary increase, just a symbolic 1 or 2% increase, instead of giving a performance bonus? Or what if organization doesn't have any performance bonus established? So in that case, can we compensate by giving a symbolic inflationary increase?
Yes, Adil, very important. A case by case you need to take, and definitely when you are giving, you also have to look at inflation, because what 100 rupees will give you now may not be giving the same, because of the inflation, you can't purchase the same amount for 100 rupees next year. So definitely those people should be getting that, some percentage of inflation, taking into care, that cost of living. Okay. But what I meant is you cannot give him an increment which will add up into his base salary for next year. Because that means that then your salary range is going to get disrupted. Year on year, you can give something to keep him motivated. But for how long you're going to keep, you have to take into consideration that person, outlier. There will be outliers. I'm not saying they will be. Like, for example, on a shop floor, a supervisor for many years, there will be outliers. So sometimes what happens, organizations will say, hey, this position anyway, it has to be retired. Then they will not have that kind of a position also, outliers. But this is something you need to work on a case by case. Okay?
Yeah. Ma'am, I have a question here. Quick question.
Yeah.
In the previous discussion regarding compa ratio, we discussed that we should try to keep everybody on midpoint. If somebody is going beyond midpoint, then definitely we have to start thinking whether we need to promote that person, or how we can uh, do the performance increment, right? As soon as the person is reaching the midpoint. But here in this example, we are talking about the maximum salary. We are not talking about the midpoint. So I'm just confused
No,
here whether we need to consider.
Here we are talking about not comparison. We are talking about the green rule and the green circle rule and the red circle rule. When you are recruiting a person, or when you are having, see, when will you have this problem of a person reaching the maximum? When you will hire, say, Adil, say, for example, this is a very 8,000 to 12,000 is my range, and I am hiring Adil at what, 11,000. So next year, 1,000 rupees increment, he will be 1 year. Then after that, he's already reached the maximum. Now, where will he go? What will I do? So I'll have to only give him a performance bonus. But if I have some kind of a compa ratio policy where I will say, when I'm recruiting, I will only recruit people at a midpoint, that is 100% comp ratio or 90% comp ratio. That means I am actually giving scope for a person to stay at least 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Did you get me?
Okay, got it. Yeah, I got it.
Because
Yeah.
by using a wrong, see, because of firefighting, the higher manager will always say, hey, um, you please bring a person who can be, plug in kind of a person quickly. Now, if I have to bring somebody at a very high salary who's almost at the maximum, I cannot give him a higher grade, then such cases happen. So you have to judiciously think when you're doing a recruitment. These all happen when you are in a hurry and you are just doing firefighting. Bring anybody, I have to quickly do. There's a conflict between recruitment guy and the hiring manager, etc. When you are not planned sufficiently, right? Okay.
Yeah. So let's say in case, just one quick thing. So let's say if recruiting team is hiring at the in the highest rank. So, is there should be any mechanism, where, because see, these are the things being analyzed by the compensation and benefit manager. So whether the recruiting person has to come to, compensation manager asking, okay, we are going beyond this, and shall we hire this person or not? These kind of things.
Absolutely, Yogesh. See, as an HR head, I've been always trying to say we have to work as a team. The competent person, the recruit manager has to actually understand. Okay, let me give you a little bit of a background in this. So, what happens depending on if I discussed about the business strategy, and see, wage cost is something I cannot just. I'm actually an operational excellence person. I'll bring somebody from the product who pay very high salaries, and then try to fit in an operational excellence business model where my salaries are below 65 percentile or so. Then what will happen? This person is demotivated. You are also getting people at a higher salary. It's a huge conflict. So you need to have a compensation strategy. Hey, what kind of people am I getting? From where am I getting? Because see what happens, depending on that, this is how to use your comp ratio. So this is what it is. So when at an entry level, typically at an intermediate level. So it is a recruitment policy you must have, a promotion policy you must have, because ultimately it will impact wage cost.
Yeah.
Compa ratio indicates, no? If a compa ratio at an organization level, I will say it is at, say, 1.5. What does it mean? It's very high. That means either you are paying very high or you are having people who are almost going to retire because they have all reached to the maximum of their salary ranges. So ideal combination is a 60-40. That means 60 people should be before the midpoint and maybe 30 to 40% after the midpoint. Are you with me? Adil?
Yeah.
Got it? Huh? Okay. Okay, guys.
Ma'am,
One
I have a
second.
quick
So,
question.
yeah, please. Huh.
Only one. So
Hmm.
we do have these compensation analysis and median salary, internal median salary analysis and everything we do. But the one thing which we usually face an issue is that, for example, there are 5 senior executive HRs or 5 senior engineers, whatever be the
Why?
designation.
One second.
But in
Why?
that, like one particular no designation, like the same role. I'm saying.
Hmm.
So in that same role, we compare the median compensation compa ratio.
Ah.
So, but in particular, for example, when one HR who has another extra duties or extra activities he has to do. So, do we need to compare those 5 salaries, or we need to like if the salary is high for that one person, we need to analyze separately, or along with the 5 we need to do it?
No. Say, for example, here it is my question. I know where you're coming from. Say, for example, it's for everybody. There is a payroll department. Okay. Now, in
Yes.
payroll department, I have payroll, say, associate, payroll associate, or an assistant. Got it? Huh? Now, this payroll assistants, one could be with just 1 year of experience, and I have 5 people, and the others could be with 2 years of experience, or 3 years of experience, or 4 years of experience. Okay, got it? Payroll assistant, same title, but with different years of experience. Now, they will be at different comp ratios. One may be at only 80%. Why? Because they came earlier, they have experience. So either they are there in the organization who got increment, so they will be at different. Now, for me, as a competent person, I want to just say, hey, the payroll comp ratio for these five people, what is it? Then I will calculate. But that doesn't mean that I am actually what? Uh, reducing or increasing anybody. Having said that, I know where you're coming from. Now, there is an appraisal which has happened, right? There's an appraisal which has happened. So, different people at different comp ratios. Now, 2 payroll guys have got a rating of 4. 4. Huh? But
Okay.
the work is almost the same. And one guy is at a very low comp ratio. So I have to give him a little higher increment so that, there is fairness and equity. Are you with me now? Definitely we have to give, because tenuity is something very important, right? I cannot write it off. But a person, because he is tenured, but his rating is 3, doesn't mean that he will continue to be at a higher salary. Are you getting me, Abhijit?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So these are some questions which are normally reviewed during annual increment, because you want to retain your high performers. If you don't compensate your high performer who is a payroll guy, he will say, hey, this organization does not reward me for high performance, and he will look out for other job. And you will be left with underperformers, average people who are sitting on high wage cost. Got it?
Got it. So the one thing is that to arrive at midpoint, to midpoint eventually to arrive at a midpoint of those 5 designations, we need to compare that. So we on what basis, like on the roles we need to compare, even the experiences differs, or on an experience, or how we need to arrive that midpoint for 5 different experience or 5 different roles like that.
Yeah, there's a quick, small exercise. Did I keep it open or not? 1 second, let me see. Yep. Yeah. So I want you all to do this. Calculate comp ratio. Software engineers, Abhijit, just like your question. There are 6 people, software engineers. Okay? Huh? This is maybe, it's a very easy data. So, I mean, Vilma this has been there because you asked this question. These are the salaries. Okay? Can you now quickly calculate at what comp ratios these guys are? Now, let me give you a cue. How to calculate? You said midpoint. Okay? Now, how will you take the midpoint? Quickly, let me give you. Now, the salary of one is, the least is 55,000 and the highest is how much? 90,000. So, this becomes
90.
your salary range, min, max. How will you calculate
Max.
the midpoint? Salary 6 minus salary 1 divided by 2 plus salary 1. Got it?
Got it.
So can you quickly calculate that this Abhijit, now you are getting some answers to your question?
Midpoint will be 72,500.
Yeah. So quickly calculate, anybody, 1 or 2 you can calculate so that you have an idea as to how to
0.55
calculate.
first is 0.55, second is
So midpoint, no? Midpoint.
0.69, 0.72, 0.75, 0.90.
So who has the highest comp ratio? Obviously,
Salary 6.
Salary is 6, right? And the lowest will be, so how will you normally calculate the comp ratio? Base salary, you need a midpoint. And because I've not given a midpoint, you have to calculate the midpoint. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. Now, for example, coming to Abhijit's question, salary, the software engineers, there are 6 people. Now, all of them, the rating, 2 guys have got 5 rating. Who salary 1 guy and salary 6 guy have got 5 rating. So naturally, I have to reduce the increment for salary 6 guy and give a more increment for salary 1 guy, because it's the same job and these guys have the same performance rating. So therefore, I have to increase. Got it, Abhijit?
Yes, ma'am.
Madam, how to
No,
determine that
but
percentage?
still Abhijit is not still, he's done. You can actually call me up or whatever you have. If you have any queries, please, you can talk to me. Okay?
Madam,
Yeah.
Madam Arijit, to do this normalization, how do we, what percentage or how do we formulate that? A person having equal rating but sitting on the lower of the comp ratio.
How do you think it must have happened? That you should decide. If there are 2 people with the same experience, the same rating, but comp ratios are different, that means today I have taken a person at a high market salary, and 4 or 5 years ago I have taken a person at a low market salary, low salary. So that's
Right,
how the comp ratio difference has arrived, and I have not made any market correction. No?
Right.
Now, is it fair for me? So I need to give them higher increment.
Okay. Is there any yardstick for this incremental value?
Increment?
Yes, the percentage means how to normalize. That is what my question is.
How
Means,
to normalize?
suppose, ma'am, someone is sitting on a higher compa, someone on a lower compa. How means what would be the yardstick of this increment percentage?
Normalization. In fact, I gave you to some extent. 1 second. Let me go back to my. Okay. Yeah. See. If you can clearly see, every company has certain amount of, money as a budget to do an increment, right? Annual increment. There's a percentage, right?
Right, ma'am.
Which adds up, percentage of increment. So based on that, then you will create this matrix. In fact, if you can see this also, see.
Means this can be a organization customize means
This is very specific to the organization, what
right.
percentage.
Ma'am,
You cannot give the same thing because I may be giving higher increment as an IT industry because I'm it, but another organization like a manufacturing can be giving less increment. This is
right.
just to give you an example, but this is typically how you actually then compute.
Right. Ma'am, one short question to follow up. Now, normally, presently, what we are seeing, while companies are going for recruitments, specifically campus recruitments, and they are grading organizations, educational institutes, and for the same job description of the job role, they are offering an elevated fitment. So, given that case, how do we normalize?
Come again, your question was a little
My
not
question
clear.
is, say for an entry level engineer, I am
Ah,
recruiting from college A and I am recruiting from college B. Now, the
okay,
company, the college B, the company has determined IITs and ITs to have a higher fitment. Means
okay,
we are elevating. Now, at the end of
okay.
the year, when their performance appraisals are done, both
Mm,
employees have the same rating, say 4. Now,
mm.
how do I means go about
Yeah,
with
yeah, very
the
interesting example is, see, let me tell you, I'll give you a very basic example. Say, for example, I've gone to a tier three, huh?
right,
And
right,
taken engineers at a much lesser salary, all right? And I've
right?
also gone to IITs, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
IIT Madras, and I've taken people at a higher salary,
Right,
2 to 3 times higher salary. Typically, an organization, when you're taking IITs will be on a different salary,
right,
different band altogether.
right,
And the tier three people will be on a different band because of the perception that this guy, after the training of 1 year, I'm going to put him in a very big role,
right,
right?
ma'am.
And a
Right,
tier three guy, maybe I will not put him in the role. Now, just see the fairness and equity. So, what happens? Say, for example, I've taken this guy at a higher salary. Right now, both of them are going through certain similar process.
hmm.
Okay, traineeship or management trainee or
Yes,
executive
ma'am.
trainee. After that, say for example, this IIT guy has not performed well.
Right,
Will you continue to give him? No. You will bring him back down. You will make him almost equal to tier three guy then.
right, right,
You will not give him that salary. Like for example, I'm telling you, people from IIMs, XLRA and all that, you take them at a much higher salary. You
yes,
also take HR people from normal colleges at a much lesser salary.
right,
Now, both of them are doing the same job. No. After a year of training or whatever orientation, they will be given a higher role. That means effort is more, the worth of the job is more, and they
right,
have to prove it. And if they don't, obviously the organization will take a call. It won't continue to pay that kind of a salary. You are under the assumption that saying that, okay, from there, maybe, they have those kind of competences who can then take up bigger roles. That's the assumption, no?
right.
But if you are
Exactly.
not capable, then you don't want to pay. Absolutely, fairness. You can't say two people. There are organizations. That's a most interesting fact that if you are having a software engineer, for one from IT and one from tier three, doing the same job, and
Mm-hmm.
paying what
Yes,
different salaries, then obviously this guy will say, "Hey, why are you paying me more? I'm also doing the same job. Then I should be paid that salary." Got it? Okay, guys. So we talked about internal equity. Now we talked about some amount of that compensation analytics, which is very, very important. Now we are coming to external equity. When we did regression, we looked at two components. What are they? We looked at the job worth establishing through points, and then we looked at market data. Now when we are saying market, external equity is all about, hey, how competitive are we? Outcome, or what is it? I want to know what is the market paying, and vis-a-vis the market, where I stand. Simple. Now I may ask you one thing, but why should I know the market? Why can't I pay what I want to pay? What will happen? What will happen if I say, why should I know about the market? Market means similar organizations or people whom from where I get talent. Why should I know? I will pay what I want to pay.
But we may end up paying less or paying higher, which can impact our wage cost.
Absolutely.
Talent.
Yeah. So you can pay more, as Yogesh said, or you won't know. right? Unless and until I know I'm 5 feet 4 inches, but I have to compare myself with certain standards and say, hey, then where am I? At least I will know how competitive I am. I may not be paying that much, but at least I will know where I am. No, logically, analytically thinking, if I have to get into market data, I want to know market data and say where I am. What are the simple things I would like to know? Tell me, as a common person, tell me,
Where
layperson.
am I
What?
attracting talent from and where I'm losing
Yeah,
talent?
absolutely. You will look at, hey, where am I getting my talent from? To whom am I losing? Which industry I am? So therefore, to whom, which industries will I compare myself? Similar industries, and then location or the geography, right? For my low level people, if I'm getting talent from just the regional level within that location, if I'm hiring associates and I'm looking at pan India data, will it be relevant?
Perhaps not.
Huh?
No.
So what data will I look? So Devi is in Chennai and she's recruiting people the lowest level in her organized structure. So if I'm looking at pan India data, will it be relevant for her? It won't. So what does it mean? So that means even
But
geography is also very
Cost of living
important.
plays an
but
important
ma'am,
role.
in the current scenario where everybody is moving to the remote or hybrid work culture, so I think then it becomes more relevant because you may hire talent from the different geography as well for the same position.
Yeah. So you are bringing another situation after the pandemic. So things have changed a lot. So for the HR, for the organization, it has become, at least it's a win-win situation now, saying that, hey, earlier I was constrained to look at, this also. If I had to bring somebody because the talent was not available in Bangalore, Hyderabad, I have to bring somebody from Bangalore, then I have to pay him something extra, etc., etc. So now, after pandemic, it has become very convenient. All the jobs which can be done remotely now, but talent anywhere from India, right?
Yeah.
So it has become very, very convenient. And only certain jobs which they have to come or twice, thrice. So remote jobs, so specifically they say, hey, this is a remote job. You can work from anywhere pan India. So it's become very, very convenient. So just to give you an understanding, external equity means essentially the outcome is that I have to get market data that is similar industries. What are they paying? Vis-a-vis what am I paying so that I'm able to be competitive. Yeah, it's simple. It also, so why should you get market data? It also helps you to understand where you are. It also helps you to define your own pay policy. Okay. Now, how often do you do? You can do it every year. You can do it once in 2 years. But typically, what happens when there's a recession, people don't move. So, therefore, typically compensation surveys are not done. When is it done? When there is a huge economic, increase and there's a lot of job mobility. People are shifting from one organization to the other because markets are doing very well. Then what happens? Hey, my God, I have to retain people. So I have to keep constantly looking at. There was a time when IT companies were paying every 6 months some amount of increment. Why? Because market was booming and there was a lot of job mobility. People were shifting, so they had to give 2 increments in a year. Otherwise, they were not able to retain people. So simple as that. So, like competitive compensation helps you to retain your best employees. It helps you to understand where you actually stand. So these are some of the goals and objectives of salary survey. Okay. It helps you to understand your position and also helps you to define whether you want to lead, lag, or be on par. What is this lead, lag? Anybody understands? Lead, simple. Lead means I want to lead the market. Lag means I want to be behind the market. And on par means I want to pay just as the market pays. Can you see this example? Simply look at my cursor. Okay. The company is paying at this. So it's paying same salary, but the market is increasing. That means what? It is you are behind the market. But if you go to the next one, it's a lead lag. So what has happened now? The market is here and it is there, but you are paying less. But then you started leading, you wanted to pay more than the market. So there is some amount of lead and lag. And if you look at this, surely this is a leading the market. That is, market is below and company is paying more and you are leading the market. So typically when you look at pay positions, there are three positions, that is lead, lag, and on par. And you also take into consideration when you are doing this, at what is your business cycle? Is it a startup or is it a growth or is it a maturity? These are some of the things which you need to take into consideration. So as I said, when you are doing surveys, you can do location wise, across industries, across a particular geography. You also can do a customized study. When do you do a customized salary survey? When you have a huge attrition, when you notice that a lot of job offers are being made, but very poor acceptance and very poor turnout. Then you want to understand, hey, what's the problem? Because why are people not joining my organization? So somewhere maybe I'm not paying right. So I will have to do a customized study. So typically, what are the steps? Step one. First of all, when you're doing the salary survey, you identify which are those positions for which you want to find out the market data. Okay, they can be 10 positions, they can be 50, or they can be all across the organization. Typically, if you don't have the budget, etc., you will only look at critical positions. So what does that mean? First step one, what do? Identify positions. Step two, then you have to identify what industries with which you compare. They are called comparator organizations. So they could be about 10 to 12. Okay. Now, comparator organizations will be what? Who are doing similar business, or from where you are getting talent, or from where your talent is going. So these are called the similar companies where you want to actually find out. 3. This is the critical part. What is it called? Job matching. What did I say? Job matching. What are you going to match? You have an internal job description of that particular job. You have to match it with the external comparator's job description. That is called job description. That means you are comparing your internal job description of a particular job with the external job. This is a key. It might look very simple, but this is the key requirement, because if you are not going to match the job correctly, you may be matching apples to oranges, because you may be matching a job with the higher responsibilities. As a result, you will think you are paying less. Or with a lower job, as a result, you might be thinking, hey, that salary, So inaccuracy of market data will happen if you don't do the job matching. Is this very clear? Job matching. So when we say job matching, what does it mean? What will you job match? What will you match it with?
Title, experience, education.
You have to match it with certain things. That means the content of the job, the complexity, the objectives, the education details, experience, scope, impact, key responsibilities. So you have to match the job description, internal job description, with the external benchmarked job. Very clear? This is very important. How much of matching at least you have to do? You may not get 100%, at least 80% match should be there. How much? 80%. That means your job should be matched with that job at least 80%, so that the market data which you get becomes almost, comparable. That's the one. Then after that, you have to gather data and do the analysis. That's where is the challenge comes. Okay. Now, how will you do that?
I just have a comment on this.
Pardon?
On the job matching, ma'am, matching the responsibilities has proven to be the most difficult area for me because it is written in so many different formats and versions. Simplifying it and comparing it with the external benchmark, that is synthesizing the internal responsibilities and then making it comparable to the external data points. That has proven to be very difficult. Just a comment.
So, yeah. When you're doing the job matching, Adil, you have to go by not just the titles, because many a times what happens, the titles may vary. For example, simple. I'm looking at a software engineer. I'm collecting data for IT companies. Okay. Now, suddenly you'll find there's a chip company. Can you compare? That's one. That means comparator. Now, if you go by a title, what happens? Very simple. A title, I'll give you a very interesting example of a principal consultant. Okay. A principal consultant in a consulting company, if you look at his job description, may be handling just 2-3 clients. Another company may be handling 10 to 20 clients. Is there a difference, Adil?
Of course, there is.
There is a difference. So, if I just go by the title and say, hey, X company is paying, the company which is looking at 20 clients is paying high salary, do you think that's comparable? This guy is paying almost like an associate consultant, right?
Yes.
Huh?
Ma'am,
So,
we operate in the energy space, in the
give me a
oil and gas, power and nuclear space.
Right.
And for example, I'm comparing a commissioning engineer in my organization vis-a-vis the peer group or the comparator organization. There's so many different parameters, and synthesizing the job responsibilities and then putting it as a match, that proves to be quite a tedious and cumbersome exercise. So you're 100% right. We're not comparing just the job titles. We go into the detail and depth of that. But responsibilities are written in so many different ways. Just taking a gist of that and then comparing it with your comparators, as you said. That
okay. I understand your challenge. I'll give you a small hack. Hack means, what you do is sometimes in organization, in JDs, you will get lost in, as you said, laundry list of responsibilities, right? Huh? A laundry list of responsibilities. Now you look at a 80-20 principle. So look at, hey, what is this? Look at deliverables first. What is this position responsible for? Accountability, outcome. Okay? Huh? Then from there you draw. Look at the scope and impact of the job. Okay? Don't look at just a list of responsibilities and go by the sheer magnitude of so many responsibilities. So therefore, this job must be really, really a big job. Go by impact, go by key responsibilities, go by that 80-20 principle of, hey, what does the job deliver and what are those key activities which actually go to deliver this? You know about that 80-20 principle, no? I understand.
Yes.
Because there are certain industries where I was doing, why I said energy, I had the same thing. We had to do, when I was a director for Ernst & Young, we had this big project of doing for IOC, pipelines, refineries, marketing. Okay. For all of them, we had to do competency mapping, we had to do this compensation, etc. So at that point of time, then you can imagine job matching, huh? So then you can get lost, no? You have to definitely take that 80-20 principle in mind. Uniqueness, what does it differentiate? So if you do that way, then obviously one person cannot do it. You have to have a team to do it. Yes, Fadil? Huh?
Yes.
Okay. So having done that, one second. Just to let me go share. I've taken, see, in today's times, there are many You can get a Deloitte survey, you can get a Mercer survey, you can get everything. But I didn't want you all to get confused. So I've taken a little outdated salary survey document to show you exactly, to simplify things. So typically when you, at this point of time, a lot of you may not be doing customized surveys, but you might be looking at what? Published surveys. Because normally these days when you do a customized survey, the expense of the cost of getting a customized survey is huge. So organizations, what do? Either they participate so that they can get data, or they look at published surveys. And where do you get published surveys? Mercer, Aon, Hay, all these people publish surveys. Don't go by Glassdoor, etc., because ultimately you want accurate data. So
But
your
ma'am,
role most, yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting you. While working on this surveys, I noticed, in fact, in the Mercer and Aon website, they are not publishing that in the PDF file. They are just publishing the numbers. That's it. And in fact, that is not related to. In fact, I went through the Aon survey that you shared. It doesn't, it is just giving industry wise. But let's say if I need to analyze it for the HR executive, it will not provide me those information. So maybe you will cover that in this session. But I'm just asking that.
Yeah. So shall I tell you, you get an overview. So if you really want to use it, then you will actually have to, ask for this detailed survey where you have to pay some amount, which is in consideration with the customized survey is still much cheaper. Because
Okay.
if you want to just get an indication, as an HR head, what I used to do is, if I want to do an annual increment, every year, I don't have to buy a published survey, buy detailed published survey. I get an idea of every industry, what kind of increment it is paying, because those figures they publish. Okay. So taking that into consideration, and taking my industry, so I then arrive at within my budget, etc., what is the percentage of increment I need to give this year, taking into consideration even the inflation, etc. Here, when you want to use it for your salaries, market corrections, then you need a detailed survey. What do you need? You need job descriptions, because how will you know whatever is published, whether that is comparable with the job you are comparing? Got it?
Yeah.
They will not give you a job description for anything free, it will be all compressed and they will not give you in detail. So typically when you are using a data, this is a Watson Void data, old data. Typically what is very important, okay, I'll use this. All this is introduction. You want to know, hey, which are those companies, okay? If I'm an IT company, what are the companies? One is, what are those positions? So can you see here? I'll make it a little bigger for you. Can you see the positions which are being taken into consideration? Consulting, non-consulting, marketing, administration, finance, quality, and with their job titles. Now, say for example, there is no job description in this document. How will I compare whether my vice president or senior vice president finance, what he does is almost comparable with this job description given here in this market data, with respect to impact, with respect to scale, scope, etc. So I definitely need job description. First is, what are those positions? Two, I need to know which are those companies which are participating. Are they similar in nature? Scale and scope. Because if they are not, then again I'm looking at data from companies which are not comparable. Like the example I gave you, chip company, which is totally different from a software company. Till here you have understood, guys? Then we are going. Next, what is very important here is, now this is what the crux of it, and yeah, I will make it bigger. Can you see? Can you see this very clearly?
Yes.
Can you see the? Now, please understand, You've seen the list of companies. How many companies were there? Say about 20 companies, 25 companies. Okay. Now, when Watson White was doing, they've collected data for all these positions from all those companies, right? That means you've got data. For example, I've collected data for an assistant vice president for all those companies. Now, when I'm collecting data, typically, every company will have, say, for assistant vice president, there is a salary range, min and max. So, how does one collect data? You will collect the midpoint or the median data. Now, what is a midpoint? You know. Or what is a median? Anybody who knows a little bit of statistics, or you want me to tell you?
Median is the
1 second, I will just, Yeah, anybody? Because that has to be again very, very clear.
midpoint is
Median.
midpoint is min plus max divided by 2. That's midpoint.
The middle point.
Second, no, sorry. This something wrong with this. Okay.
Middle point of the data.
Okay, stop presenting and then it will show that. Are you able to see my whiteboard?
Yes.
You are. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll just use. Why is it showing direction? Let's see what it is. Next. Okay. I'll use the other one only then. Something wrong with this. Okay. I will annotate on this only. Okay. Okay, let me take a minute to just give you this. Okay. What is mean?
Average. Average is mean.
Average. Say, for example, if I have figures like 10 salaries of people, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, or 5 people. So I total the sum of it divided by the number. So if I have salaries of 5 people, what will I do? How will I get a mean? Sum total divided by
5.
Quick.
5.
Okay, good. Now, what is mode? Anybody who's heard of mode?
Yes.
Say, for example, I'll just quickly give, say, 5 people again, 10,000 salary, again 10,000 salary, then.
Which is frequently occurring, right? More.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, if I say, so which will be the mode here?
10.
10,000.
The amount which is occurring more. So it is 10,000. 1, 2, 3 times it's occurring. So this is the mode, the highest, which is frequently occurring. That's the highest value. What is median?
11,000.
If I
What
have to
position?
do median of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, how will I do the median of these 5 units?
Mid value.
Huh?
Mid value is the median.
Yeah, midpoint, or there is a very interesting n plus 1, n
Plus 1 by 2.
Yeah, I'm just looking at one. Very good. By 2. So can you quickly do this? What is n?
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, when I'm doing a median calculation, first of all, I have to put them in a serial order. Got it? That means 10,000, 10,000. So this 10,000 also has to go up. Okay? Can somebody work out what is the median value? So if this 10,000 goes up, what is the median value for this? N plus 1 by 2. So you have to rank them here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, this 10,000 has to become, I will delete this. I'll use a rubber. 1 second. Yeah. 1 second, guys. So first of all, I put as just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then let me put the figures here. Okay. So I have to do alphabetical order. Okay. Then sorry. 10,000. Got it? Then what will I do now? N is equal to what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 plus 1, which will be equal to what? 6. Then divided by 2.
2.
So what number will I get?
10,000.
No. Look at it. 6 by 2 is what?
3.
Huh? 3.
3.
So now count from here. 1, 2, 3. So
10.
what is the median? 10,000. Got it?
Yeah.
So when I say N, it is the number of items or number of units or number of value. It is not the value of this. So that's why it's very, very important when you have to do a median. Today, median means you can just do it in Excel. But I just thought mechanically, how do you do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to arrange them into ascending or descending order. Count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. N is the number of items. N plus 1 divided by 2. So 3. So then count 1, 2, 3. So midpoint or the median is your 10,000. Did you get it now? Okay. Let me rub it off. Now, why I taught you this is very important. Okay. You have to know this because
What if it is the even number?
You have this, no? You want me to show you that? Okay, I'll show you. We have the time. It's okay. Anybody who will tell me how to do an even number? Anybody knows? I'll show you. 1,
Yeah, N by 2.
3, 4,
And then N plus
5,
1
6. Okay. So you'll get a unit. So again, I'm just using. I'm just using a very. Okay. Now, quickly tell me, I want you all to tell me now. What will I do? N plus 1 by 2 is what?
3.5.
Quick, guys.
It's 10, 5.
It's equal to what? 7 divided by 2.
3.5.
It's equal to 3.5. Now, what will you do? 3. So 1, 2, 3, 0.5. So there is a tie between 3 and 4. So what is the total of 3 and 4 now?
11,000 plus 11,000 divided by 2, then it will become
Exactly.
11,000.
22,000 divided by 2. That will give you your
median.
And now, Devi, do you know how to do it when it is a
Yeah.
even number? The
Yeah.
type 3.5. So it will be between 3 and 4. The value of this and value of this divided by 2. Simple?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's now just go to this, which is very important. So step 1, this is what is very, very critical. And you also will be doing this very shortly. You are collecting data from organizations. So when I'm collecting data from 10 companies, what data will I collect? I will be collecting data which is 50th percentile or which is a median. Got it? So I use something like a percentile. What is percentile? Anybody? What is percentile?
Yeah, so let's say if we are talking about a 10 percentile.
Say for example, okay. Yeah. If I say your company is paying 65th percentile, what does it mean?
65.
65%, whichever salary is the maximum, at the 65 percentile, 65% will be considered, I think that value for the 65 percentile.
Okay. So when I say, okay, I'll say 80th percentile, that means
80% below that.
say, a certain company. What ATP? It is called typically ATP. What does it mean? 20 companies are paying more than your company, and how many? 80 companies are paying lesser than your company. 80% of those companies. Got it?
Yeah.
20%
below
is
that.
paying more and 80% is below. If I say again, say for example, 75, what does it mean?
25% more and
Yeah,
75%
25 more and
75.
75 less. You are at a 75. So this is something you have to understand, a percentile. There can be also a decile. What does it mean? That means, your entire range has been divided into 10 parts. 10th decile, 20th decile, 30th decile, 40th decile. Okay? Now, quartile. What is quartile?
Divided into 4.
Divided by 4.
Quartile. That means 0 to 25 is Q1, 25 to 50 is Q2, 50 to 75 is Q3, and 75 to 100 is Q4. Simple things you have to just understand. Now, I told you when you are collecting data, you are collecting data of the market at a 50th percentile. So all the data which is being collected is at a 50th percentile. After having done that, now you will then look at, hey, at what percentile? That means, say, for example, assistant vice president, if I am paying a salary of, say, for example, we'll take this, okay? I'm paying a salary of, say, 14 lakhs. At what percentile am I? Vis-a-vis the market?
Can you repeat that question, please? Sorry.
Say, for example, in your company, let it be Jayesh or Abhijit, he has a assistant vice president, okay? Now, that internal job description of assistant vice president matches very well with the market data job description of assistant vice president. So now he wants to compare and say, hey, where am I with regard to the market data? Okay, so his salary is, say, for example, 14 lakhs. So this figure, 1441. Okay.
Yeah.
So where am I vis-a-vis the market?
Very low.
10%.
10th percentile. Say, for example, I'm paying 18 lakhs. Where am I vis-a-vis the market data?
So I'm over
Can you see my
75th
cursor?
percentile.
Between,
and
I'm
then
a little more than 75th percentile, but less than 90th percentile.
90%.
Okay. Now the challenging question is one for all of you. Hey, how do I, first of all, when I get the market data, how do I translate them into percentile? That is also very important before you actually look at percentile. Let me just quickly show you how to calculate percentile. Okay. When you go back, okay. For example, you want to start a company and you want to recruit a software developer. You want to recruit a software developer. And you are saying, hey, I want to pay at a 90th percentile. What you want to pay? At a 90th percentile. So if you want to pay at a 90th percentile, what is salary I should pay? What's the question, guys, for you? I want to pay at what? 90p. So what is the salary at a 90th percentile of the market? Now, what will you do? What I will do as a competent person, I will collect data of some market comparators. See, so I have collected data from all these companies, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, who are recruiting similar industry, who are recruiting software developers, and this is their monthly salary. Till here, did you understand?
Yeah.
Till here, did you understand? Now, the question is, I have to pay a 90th percentile, and how much salary should I pay? And what do I have? I only have, what is it? This data. this data, just like I have collected data from all software companies. Now, I can't use this data because I don't know. I have to, first of all, translate this into percentile. Okay. Now, what will I do? Simple.
So first I will have to, I will have to sort it out in the ascending order. Then,
Yeah. Now, insert formula. You can do straight away or you can do a percent rank. Okay. Insert function. And what will you do? Go to, I want to know 90th percentile, right? Go to percentile. Can you see my window? I went to percentile.
yeah,
Okay. Array. What is array now?
C column.
Got it? Huh?
C column. Yeah.
This you know from where to get? Market, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Now K is my percentile. How much? 90%. So is it okay if I put 0.9?
Yes.
Quick.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Okay. Now how much I should pay? 23,400 at a 90th percentile. Okay. So typically what happens, this is how they do, what is it? Compound win people when they get salary data, etc. You can't use this. You have to know which is the highest and which is the lowest. You have to first of all convert this into about a percentile. If I want to convert this into a salary range, how will you do? What will you need? You want to know your min and max. So that means what? You can first of all do it like a percentile rank also. Insert formula, insert function. Oh, let me cancel this. Huh? Okay. Insert formula, insert function, percentile rank. Okay. Okay. Array. Array will be
C6 to
okay.
C19.
Okay. X will be, say for example, I want to know what percentile rank is this. Right? 76. So which is the highest and which is the lowest here? I've already worked out the percent rank, etc. Which is the highest and which is the lowest?
Highest is company C and lowest is.
So what is my range?
Company I. Lowest is I.
CP by min? Huh?
I
Right?
is the lowest.
14,000 to 34,000.
34 max.
Excellent. Got it? Huh? This is your min and this is your max. Okay. Now, if you want to find out which is your midpoint, what will you do? You have to find out 50th percentile. You know how to do 50th percentile now?
Yes.
Huh? Because you have to do some, now you'll have an exercise. So you know how to do 50th percentile again? You
Yes.
want me to show you once again?
No, we know that.
You know
Insert
it.
function and then percentile and then we'll put
Exactly.
point.
So now you know that can I go back to that data so that I wanted to explain this? How do you calculate percentiles? So what does it mean? When you collect the market data, you will collect market data like this. But this can't be used like this because I have to know my range. What is my min and what is my max? And then make that range into 4 quartiles. Got it? Huh? So 50th to 75 will be my Q3. So if I have to divide this, no, this will be what data? 50th percentile. What is the 50th percentile? 1800. Can you divide this min max into 4 quartiles? We can do it now. That means what? Up to 0 to 25 percentile will be 1 quarter, 25 to 52, 50 to 75, 3, and 75 to 100, 4. So now you know that if I want to pay how much I should pay at a 90th percentile from the market data. So I'll say, hey, I don't want to pay it the highest, but I'll pay 23,400. Is this very clear, guys?
Yes.
Let me just get back to the data. Sorry. Why? First, I have to annotate. So now you have understood that if I am looking at an assistant vice president, now let us look at a head marketing. If I'm looking at a person 15 years, this job description matches with the external job description, and I'm here where 50th percentile, and then I want to be at a 90th percentile. What will I do? Will I increase it? Guys, tell me.
No.
Depending on, I will have a look at it and say, hey, but this is a very critical position. So therefore, I will get market data, but some positions I will increase them because they're very, very critical. But some positions, I'm very happy. I can be at a 50th percentile, I can be at a 60th percentile. So depending on my compensation strategy, then I will make the corrections with my market data. Is that clear?
Yes.
Any questions here? Because we are going to do a small exercise now. Any questions here, guys? Quick.
This is clear, ma'am. But I have a question related to the survey. So, is there any website through which we can get the survey without incurring any cost? Because definitely it will impact the wage cost as well. So,
So I think there are a list of sites where you can get data. So typically you don't want to increase, don't want to buy. Then what I will advise you is don't rely on just one data. You can look at 3-4. See, salary.com gives you, pay scale gives you. Free of cost, you can definitely get data.
Okay.
But to validate your data, check with 2 or 3 sources. Even Glassdoor gives you, Naukri gives you free. Okay. Or even if you have more time, all these Naukri placement guys also keep giving, salaries. Now, what you can do is then check the validity by using 2-3 sources and see, is there a huge gap or a deviance? If one source of data will tell you 20 lakhs and another source will say only 10 lakhs, then you need to question and see why, what is this? Is my job not matching, or is there accuracy, authenticity in this data, etc., etc. So I always say, do a dipstick. You can always do that. You can actually, if you are a part of an organization, recruitment is the best place to collect your accurate data from the pay slips, from people who may not have been recruited because of high salaries, but they will have the pay slips. So you can get accurate data from there. So it does not mean that you have to only buy. Where there's a will, there's a way. So you can always get data. Are you with me, guys?
Yes. And one question on this, because let's say if we are, we are validating it from the 3 to 4 sources, but reaching out to this conclusion, I think we also need to analyze job description, right? What we need to consider.
That's the most important thing, no? Your internal job description has to match with the benchmark job description of that position in the market. If that does not match at least 80%, then your entire, figure work will go wrong.
Yeah, but then if we are referring these free websites from where we are getting these survey, then definitely we will not be able to get the job description from there, because they will just go by the job title, by the grades. So they will just share these numbers with you.
Paid work. See, there is paid work. You ask a survey guy how they will go about. There is paid work. It is not easy then. Because even for accuracy, there is a lot of paid work. You call up, you find out. So there is some paid work there, Some effort goes into it. You can't just go at a glance and get the figure. You have to do some primary research, secondary research, etc. Okay? Huh? You know what I recall? They will ask people, they will try to get hold of people who are working there. Oh, there are a lot of ways to get data. Is not easy. Good, accurate data. It's confidential. especially salary data is confidential. You agree?
Agree. Yeah.
So whatever comes free may not be sometimes accurate. That's why I don't even suggest going by the free data sometimes, to be very honest. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to go through a accurate. Say, for example, I'm an HR head and I'm using this kind of a data. Now, how can I do my entire market correction? And also, how can I get a buy-in, even if it is correct from my stakeholders? It has to be objective, no? That's why you always go to a third party also to get data.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is more accurate, authentic. Accuracy is very important. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Guys, you have a quick, in this, there is one small exercise so that you know exactly how to do it. Let me go by the time. How much of time do we have actually? Okay, 12:30. What's the time, guys?
12:30.
Okay,
12:30.
quick. You have this? You have this downloaded, right?
Yes.
Quickly, this is an individual task. Huh? Now I'll tell you what to do also. This is an individual task because these are some of the challenges when you go back, you will have, you are not going to get into what is customized surveys, but analysis is very, very important for you. What you need to do is quickly, here it is. There are how many companies? I think there are about 9 companies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 10 companies. What are these? Are the 10 companies. This is market. Okay. And this is an IT company, X company. Now, these 10 companies are paying for their grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, which is 0 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 5 years. This is their annual base salary. Okay. For a grade 1, Wipro is paying 3,65,000, 4,70,000, and 6,70,000. Likewise. What is your company paying? You can assume this is your company, which is paying 3,60,000 at a grade 1, 6,20,000, and now you have to find out. Okay, don't do all. Just do 25th percentile, no 10th percentile. Just do, first of all, what is it at a 25th percentile market data? What is it at a 50th percentile? And what is it at a 90th percentile? Okay. And then you tell me what percent at vis-a-vis the 50th percentile, where is your current actual pay vis-a-vis your 50th percentile? Okay. And what is the percentage of what is it hike you have above the 50th percentile? You know what you need to do? You have to just calculate 50th percentile, calculate the 90th percentile, and you find out this 3,60,000 at what percentile are you in the market. Got it, guys? Likewise, these 3 things. Very easy. It should not take you more than 5 minutes.
See, ma'am, the array, do you want it including the current annual pay or minus?
You tell me. That is the best part. Even when you look at a survey, how can you compare with yours also there? It has to be outside.
Outside. Okay. So minus our own.
No? Concept very clear. You can't have it as a part. You're comparing your data with others. Why count? Okay, now K, 50th percentile, go straight. So 0.5, 0.5. Adil, 0.5.
I would suggest if you can put 0.1, 0.25, 50, and 75
Yeah, that
points
will be 0.5. 0.
and then drag the formula, I guess.
Okay. So it tallies with it. Now do the other one. Great. Very good. Now do the 75th.
I will just write 0.75 in G column. I think from there you can directly drag it.
We have Yogesh as an expert. You see, day in and day out, he has to do shared service work. People who work. 98.9 or 0.75. Yeah. Very good. Okay, great. So now, even at a 90th percentile, you can see clearly what you're paying is 3,60,000, 5,50,000, 7,50,000. So typically, if you want to say pay policy, so where would you put, lead, lag, or on par? It is leading, no? Clearly leading because you're paying. So when you compare, you're comparing with typically a 50th percentile. So what percentage of increase with respect to the 50th percentile? 50th percentile is 2 lakhs, when I see,
60,000.
is it 2,60,000. So, and your current salary is 3,60,000. So by what percentage are you high? Anybody who knows to do simple calculation when you have to do a percentage?
Yeah,
Simple.
3,60,000 minus 3,60,000 minus 2,60,000 divided by
2 lakh.
2,60,000.
So what is the percentage?
38.
Correct. Absolutely. And the second one?
T1.
Yeah. So everybody now knows about it. You can do it?
Yeah.
Great. Great. Now that tougher breakout activity, a little tougher breakout activity. Let me open the document for you. Okay. If you can close this window, please.
Yes, ma'am.
A little tougher because if you do it, you will understand. Otherwise, so what happened normally? Share the screen. Vilma, can you share that assignment? I think.
Can you
Okay.
see?
Simple, very simple, and because you can go back and do. Step 1, already given for you. What is it? These are the positions. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. How many positions are there for you to benchmark?
5.
5 positions. Okay. Research analyst, research manager, etc., etc. Now, their salaries are given. What? Their salaries are given. Where are the salaries? Tech
3.5.
Research, Smart Cube, Evaluate, Accenture, McKinsey, Pottery, so and so. Their salaries are given. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 companies. Their salaries are already given. Now, what you need to do, though it is a worked out one, quickly you have to find out for a research analyst with the market data only where is your 50th percentile, okay, and your 75th percentile. Again, research. So with this market data, you have to find out your 50th percentile and your 75th percentile. And then only for research manager, you want to have a lead policy. So looking at your market data at a 50th percentile, you want to ensure that you are in a leading by at least 30%. Okay. So we'll go one by one. Let's, you'll start doing, will you have just one group? Vilma,
groups.
I think you can, you want to have two
groups.
groups?
Yes, we'll put them in the group.
Is it a big
breakout.
group?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
then you can have
We'll put them in the 2 groups. And
okay.
I'll just open the room for them.
I don't want you all to do regression analysis. This is totally, there is regression worked out here. Use only the data for the purpose of calculating only percentile, guys. Okay. So that, this exercise helps you to understand in organization, when you go back, how will you deal with data? Don't do regression. You have already done regression and you know how to do it. But this is only to help you to understand your market data, converting them into percentiles and seeing where do I stand, and then do I want to increase it? So if you want to increase it, depending on the supply and demand, okay? So I will be helping you all as well. So you can go to your rooms and it shouldn't take more than 10 minutes. So yeah.
So the task is that you have to calculate the 50th and the 75th percentile.
75th percentile. That's
only
it.
2. For research analyst, only 1 position or 2?
They can do just 2 positions, research manager and research analyst.
Research manager, this one.
First
The
and
last and the first. Okay. So I'm
Yeah,
opening the
simple.
group now. You can start. You can use
We are
all
not
the
giving
same
them a
Excel
lot.
sheet.
And at which
Just
percentile we are at,
50th
right?
and 75th. And then
Okay.
a lead by, say, example, that I'll leave it to you 15% or 20% to help you to understand how do you lead. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming up. Adil has started sharing. Excellent, excellent. So you
Visible.
only have to do for 2 positions, okay? So do you know when you're calculating for every position, you have to just pull that array of data for that position only. For example, I'll explain research manager. So you have these data from F, E, F, G, H, etc., etc. So array of data for research manager, or for we are doing 2 positions, right? Just pull that
Yes.
data and capture that. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Got it? Can I move to the other group?
What you can do, see, since you are doing only for the first and the last position, so remove the 3 in between positions so that you can, do the array.
It's okay. They can do it like that only, no? So that otherwise, hide it. They can hide it also.
Remove it.
Great.
Yeah. Now you can.
Vilma, can you do the same thing for the other group, please, if you don't mind?
I'll stay here. You can move to the other.
I have to go to the other room then, otherwise, yeah.
Yes, yes.
I'm only in this room now. Huh?
So we can go to
I'm watching these people do.
Or maybe this is the vacant space.
Okay.
We can do it over here.
So I would suggest one thing. Just put 0.5 and 0.75 in any column just to
Right.
value, because it will help us to do this calculation quickly. Just put 0.75, just write 0.5 and 0.75. Yes. Now equal to percentile.
Abhijit, just a minute. You can use the analysis tool, from the tab. So what you do, since you have to do the top, the first position and the last position, so remove the in between 3 rows.
I think we can do that for all. I think it won't take much time. We just have to
Fine,
drag the
fine.
form.
Okay, fine. Then you can do from the tab bar, you can use the formulas and do it directly.
Yeah.
If you want, or else you can do it as you're doing that.
Now equal to percentile. Percentile. Last one. Yes. Now select from column E till column P.
It's not. You didn't
Column
put the
P.
bracket. You didn't put the bracket while doing the percentile.
Oh, okay. Equal to percentile, then bracket. Yes. Now this one, then comma, and then select this 0.5. Select 0.5. Yes, function FO.
जब पापा करते थे तो मेरे पास कोई टेक्निकल कॉल आ जाता लो बात करो मुझे
Write it down.
मुझे नहीं आता
No, just freeze it. No, just put dollar.
No,
Okay.
first
Function FO.
F4. Okay. F4 function.
Function FO.
फैकल्टी की जगह नहीं पूरा other than the
Can I close the bracket now?
it should.
No, it's not. No. Just function FO. Just remove this dollar first.
Okay. F4.
And yeah, now close the bracket and enter. Okay.
Okay.
And I think
We can copy it.
Yes, drag it down.
I think
Now equal to entire. Or maybe you can copy the same formula, and then change it to the key column.
So I would like to means practice what you just dictated. So percentile. After that,
No, you have opened a bracket.
Bracket, correct. Just
I've
remove
opened the
that
bracket.
bracket after
Okay, I
equal
need
to.
to remove it. Okay, after
Yeah.
percentile.
Yeah,
Okay,
percentile, put the bracket.
I put the bracket. Then I select this range.
Yes, yes, it's the same,
I will select
same
this
area.
range. Then
Then
I freeze
comma,
it. Okay,
no,
then comma.
and then freeze this 0.75. 0.75. Function F4, bracket close. Now enter, now drag it down. Okay, so now we'll have to match it with that one. Can you just select K16? Just select the cell K16, K16, 16, K16, or maybe
16.
K15. Yeah, this one,
Okay,
17 point,
K16.
correct. This is E7. Oh, E7, yeah, that's fine. Okay, now we are good.
Guys, you can hide that information which is not required. Oh, you guys are doing for everything now. Okay, great.
Yeah, we are doing for everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, in that previous, when there are few organizations, there are only how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To create a range, you know exactly ascending or descending. So the lowest is the min and the highest is the max. But the challenge comes that you have to use Excel when the data is the larger numbers, right? Otherwise, to
Right.
make a salary range, I mean, to know min and max is very easy to know. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. So done, guys. This is over.
Yeah, 50th and 75th percentile we got it, but yes, so now we need to analyze it with our salary, right?
Exactly. And then you want to know whether you want to increase it by 10% or 15% and try to do that. So where are we standing vis-a-vis the market at a 50th percentile? Okay. Or you want to increase it, you know, you want to be at a 75th percentile or a 90th percentile. So just see for 1 or 2 positions.
Where is our salary?
No, that is Q column.
What are you looking at, guys? Maybe I can help you all. But then you have
What
this
is our organization salary?
Q column, right?
You are comparing your organization salary, no?
Yeah, that is column Q. Okay.
Q, yeah.
Okay.
Your
Yes.
organization salary. Now you want to compare, you don't want to compare at a 10th percentile, 30th, 25th. So typically we compare it at 50th and 75th. Okay?
Right. So
Actually,
comparing research analyst of the P50 position, I feel we are on the higher side.
So I think we need to add.
No.
So we need to find the percentage. Okay.
Percentage only we need to find.
So 6.26 minus 6.08
0
divided by 6.0.
Can I talk? Can I talk?
Yeah.
Okay. By what percentage are you higher? Are you means your salary for research or research analyst too are higher as compared with the 50th percentile of the market. Got it? Did you get it? By what you all did it in the previous exercise. By what percentage are you higher at when you compare it with the 50th percentile? For example,
So our 50th percentile with market 50th percentile or how?
No. You have not done any 50th percentile right now. You are only looking at your salary. You don't even have a salary range to say you are 50th percentile. You are a research analyst. You are paying how much? How much are you paying?
3.5.
Can I go back to how much?
6.8.
3.5.
Can you just move that data? I will see.
Oh, 3.3.
3.3. Say, for example, for a research analyst, you are paying 3.3 lakhs. Okay. No, or 3.5 lakhs. Just keep it as 3.5 lakhs.
Yes.
So now move to the other side. Now I'll tell you. Scroll back again. Now what are you paying? 3.5 lakhs. Now you have to compare this 3.5 lakhs of an RA1 to market data at the 50th percentile. So what is market paying at a 50th percentile?
6.08.
6.26.
6.8.
I think for us it is 6.26, I think.
No, in the Excel, no, that J Y column, no? Yeah, V column. V column, they've included Q also. That is wrong. The formula is wrong.
Maybe you have included some wrong data to be
No, no,
in,
no.
No, no, no.
It's
We
already
haven't
the
included
already
Q column.
our data is right. The already
Ah.
mentioned this is wrong. It is E3 to
Acha,
P3
maybe,
only.
but you have to see. We will do only one. Okay, RA. Let us do. So you have to you have to take all that market data, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you taken
Yes,
your
yes,
market data and do the percentile, 50th percentile? Did you do that?
yes. That is 6.26. Yogesh?
Okay, great.
Ah,
So this
yeah.
may be wrong.
Yeah.
Huh?
This is wrong actually. If you see
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
that is wrong.
the
I'm
formula
not
is wrong.
saying that.
Because they have
Okay.
considered our
Q3
salary
also.
as well. From Q
Yeah,
column. Yeah.
yeah.
So I think
Okay.
what we need to do. So
Hmm.
at the 50th percentile, we need to analyze. So who's sharing the screen? Abhijit?
Yes,
No,
Abhijit, yes.
Arjit,
Yeah.
Arjit.
So I
See,
think
for
we need.
example, yeah, they must have taken this, which is wrong. You should never take your own data. You are comparing
Yeah.
with the others'
Yeah.
data.
That's
So
why
you
we
have
didn't
to
take
only
that.
take that data.
Yeah.
Got it?
That's why we didn't take that. So now we
Okay,
need
dear.
to do in L column, Abhijit, just
Mhm.
click on equal to.
Only
Yeah,
two
maybe you can
positions
do
are
that.
good enough, guys. Only two positions are good enough. Just do for one position, research
We can do
manager.
that for all, in fact. Just drag the
Okay,
formula and
okay.
yeah.
Do it, do it,
Yeah.
do it.
So in the L column,
Hmm.
just put equal to, no, not here, below that,
Below
not
that.
here. Yeah, yeah, equal to our, open the bracket and then 6.26, select that cell, minus that
Q3.
one, 3.5, divided by 3.5. I'm doing it. No, we are doing it wrong way. It should be 3.5 minus 6.26 because we are comparing it with our salary, no? So
No, no,
equal
this is
to,
right.
no, no,
Then
no,
we are paying less. Yes, sir.
no, it should be in the minus, no, just equal to, just remove the formula, remove entire thing, and then put equal to, yeah, equal to, then select Q3,
This is wrong.
or maybe open the bracket, yeah, then select Q3 minus, yeah, and divided by Q3, Q3,
It will be Q3.
yeah, Q3, yeah. Now scroll down, six, and we should pay 12.9. Yes. We selected Q minus J, right? Q minus half. Now change this to percentage. We are showing general, no? Just go
Into
on
100.
the.
It would be into 100.
Oh, no, just go there, no? Just select this thing, entire thing. No. Just select all the
Give me
values.
the column range.
Just select all the values. Yes. Now go where you can see general, right? At the top. In the middle, top middle.
That will be 3.
No, you can see general, right? Just change it to the percentage. Or maybe you can see the percentage, right? Yeah, select the percentages. Correct. Now this is the one. So we are this much below than the market. Because the market is paying 6.26, whereas we are
Yes,
paying 3.5,
3.5.
right?
Yes,
Yeah. Can you showcase that?
sure.
Where are the others? I can't see anybody here.
I
In
think
the SQL
inside
and
close the
backup.
room.
Okay. Okay.
So this
Let-
is.
I want to
50th
see whether it's correct or not. Okay. So you've taken the data from E to, let me see. Can anyone, one of you, take me through this? Can
Okay,
one of
so
you take me?
yeah. So for 50th percentile, we have taken it. The array is E3 to P3. In fact, that is the array
Correct.
for
Okay.
all the calculation.
Hmm.
And then we've applied 0.5 to derive the 50th percentile.
Okay.
We've done similar for 75th percentile. The array remains unchanged, and the percentile is 0.75. We have also taken min and max of the same array,
Okay.
and we have
Okay.
taken a lead position actually for the research manager. We have applied 30% on top of the 75th percentile. So that gives us 10.8 lakhs.
First, so one second. Two things to remember here. One is this is your market data. Which one? 50th percentile, 75th percentile, min, max. That is your market data, which has been divided into 4 quartiles. Now, what are you paying? For example, if I were taking only one position, say for example, I'm taking the research manager. As of now, what are you paying? That's important, no? You are comparing with what are you paying? Where is that data?
We are paying,
lakhs.
this is
8
company
lakhs.
max.
8.
You are
8
paying
lakhs.
how much? I'm
8
only
lakhs.
looking at one position. 8 lakhs. Okay. So now just go back to that 50th. Now you are comparing this 8 lakhs. Just go back to the data, comparing your 8 lakhs and saying, hey, 8 lakhs is what I'm paying for my research manager. So where am I? I'm paying lesser than 50th percentile because 50th percentile is showing 8.28. No?
Yes.
75th.
Huh?
It is
75th.
Definitely I'm
75th.
paying more than 50. Huh?
No, no.
So no,
75th.
so I'm sorry, I meant 75th, I'm telling 50. So it is more than 50th percentile, but a little less than 75th percentile because your market data of 75th percentile is showing 8.28 and you are paying 8. Now you are saying I want to give a 30% increase, right? On the what? On the 75th percentile. So you can give 30% here, or you can say, hey, I want to be at a 90th percentile. So that means I have to increase this 8 lakhs to the 90th percentile of the market. So that's how you do a market correction. Is that all clear, guys? Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, but one question here, ma'am. For
Please.
research
Huh?
manager, 50th percentile, how come did they arrive to 6.25? Because if you can see the salary, right, it is for Gartner and these are 13 lakh 17 points. So how come they arrived to 6.25, which is below than research analyst? So just want
Let
to
me
see that.
see. That's what I want to see. Let me see your data. Just push that side. 13, 17, 8.68. Can you push that data? I want to see BCC. Guys, BCC. You are right. You are right. Nowhere.
This is also from analyst
Adil,
too.
Yeah.
Adil, if you look at your data, how can 50th percentile be a... I think you got a little confused with the research analyst and research manager data doesn't show anywhere 6.25, huh? Your data got
15th
a little
The,
reversed.
let's
Your
see.
data got a little somewhere mixed up. I mean, Yogesh's observation is right because you're. Can you do it quickly if you want to?
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
If you want to, yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
It has to be E7.
Yeah. I think with formula pasting. Correct. You're right.
E7 to
E7 to P7.
Yes.
so 0.5. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it took the
There
next
you are,
row.
sir. There you are. Okay, got it? Huh?
Yes, yes. Clear.
Okay. Yeah, small error. So whenever we are doing these things, we have to be doubly sure. Okay. All right. Can I go to the other group?
Yeah.
Should I stop
Huh?
sharing?
Yeah, I hope you have understood the calculation part now, all of you in this group, Adil and all. Huh?
Yes, yes. Would you like me to stop sharing and
Yeah, stop
Mukesh, would
sharing
you?
so that we can see the other group as well.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So they were very enthusiastic, rather, and they wanted to do the entire thing. So here it goes. Yeah. So research analyst 2, data analyst, and category market manager. So they're done. Yeah. 10th percentile grade, 75th percentile. And they have also calculated by what percentage it is less or more vis-a-vis the market data at a 50th percentile. Good. So by and large, all of you have understood how to go about this data?
Yes.
Yes or no, guys? Huh? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Let me show. Yeah. Can you just, pull this screen? I want to
Well,
show the last.
I have a question here because, as you mentioned, how can we make, so let's say if you want to have 50%, 15% more from the market, 50th percentile of the market, how can we do that calculation? That do we just need to, do need to multiply 1.15, which is
No, just
15%.
repeat your question, Yogesh.
So we have market salary as Arijit, if you can bring up your screen, just a quick question on that one.
Do you want me to stop sharing so that you want to show something?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, here. So as we can see, we are paying. So for research analyst, we are just paying 79% less than the market, 50th percentile of the market. But let's say if you want to say, if you are saying we should pay more than 15%, right, from the market. So how can we do that? How can we do that calculation? Shall we just, calculate 6.26 multiply by 1.15, then it will show us the, 15% more than
No,
the market.
simple. You are saying that, so typically, to help you understand, I said certain percentage. So let me show you. Can you withdraw? That's what I'm going to show.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Can you see this? Huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Simple. Say maybe, assume that, can you see my cursor also? Huh?
Yes.
Yes.
My
Visible,
cursor.
ma'am.
So this is your research salary. Which one? This one. Cursor. What the market is paying, and I've collected data across 5 companies or 10 companies. This is the market data. When I say external equity also, it's market data. Now that market data has been converted into a salary range of percentile. At 10th percentile, this lower course median data, 50th, 75, 90th. Got it? Huh? Clear?
Yeah.
Now, this is what,
Nirmala, can you
right
enlarge
now,
the screen?
there is some problem here. I wanted to enlarge. See,
Just
I don't know
drag
why.
that.
Okay, I know what to do. Yeah, I got it. One second. I know what to do. I wanted to wait. I know.
Training হচ্ছে
This is okay? Yeah,
But-
can you see this now? Huh?
Okay.
Yes.
To some extent. Okay. So, say for example, where is my cursor gone? Say for example, now this is the median point. That is, this is the 50th percentile. Okay. Now this becomes your actually reference point or anchoring point for you to make your corrections. So typically what happens in an organization now, now I can see, okay. For example, I'm saying, hey, you know, my salary, though the data is not here. So maybe like, you know, vis-a-vis the 10th percentile, my minimum is still, you know, less by 10% here. And and my maximum is 9% more. Now, the question Yogesh was asking me is, how can I increase it from the midpoint, which is 50th percentile, by 30%? So typically what organization do is that you are actually just extrapolating. If as you rightly said, if at a 50th percentile, it is 254,607, can I actually increase it by 10%, 20%? I can do simple calculation and do it, no? Can't I do it?
Yes, ma'am. Means
Yes.
what I was
Simple,
thinking.
10% of 254 or 20% of 254 or 30% of 254.
Ma'am, I have a
Now,
question.
yeah, please tell me.
Means as Mr. Yogesh was also mentioning that we have figured out the midpoint or the 50p for our organization, which could be say a certain 10% below the market average. Now, if I'm considering a 10% increment, I have the data for 7 or 10 organizations. I have their 50p position, and the shortfall, I can cover it up with the equal percentage increment. Wouldn't that work?
No. You said I have data of 10 companies. So those 10 companies' data of a particular position, you are going to change it into
50p.
a quartile, right?
Yes. Yes.
Unless and until you translate that, you can't use that data for every position. Are you with me, Devi?
Ma'am, but for the exercise, for research analysts, we had this figure for 7-10 organizations.
Let's go back to that exercise only. Okay.
Yes.
1 second. Somebody can share that exercise so that I can clarify nicely. Yogesh or somebody. Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Now. Yeah. Yes, Devi. Yeah.
And should I continue? Means with
Yeah,
my
yeah,
question?
please.
Okay.
Now we can see.
And what I was saying was that over here we analyzed that for research analysts, our organization was 80% less than the 50p of the market, considering this thing. Now, over here we have all these 7-10 organizations. We can calculate their 50p, and means we can compare this salary what we are offering, the shortfall, then we can raise it for that particular position.
See, when you did this 50th percentile, 70th percentile, this data has been converted into percentile format.
Right, ma'am.
Right? Now you are saying, yes, you can use this because now you are saying at a 50th percentile, the market is paying, can I take this figure? 6.26, right? But what am I paying right now?
I'm paying, say 3.5.
Say 3.5 lakhs. Okay. So if I'm paying 3.5 lakhs, I'm not getting good engineers or good research analysts. And it's a very critical position. So the supply is very less and the demand is very high. So that means I have to increase it. Okay.
Yes.
This is a 50th percentile and this. That means I have to increase it to what? At least 75th percentile or 80th percentile. So there are two options. You want to increase it by 10%, 20%, depending on your budget. Not that you will increase it, and you also have to balance it with at what salary will my good people come. Are you getting me?
Right.
It is
Yes,
not
ma'am.
straight away increasing your salary,
Percentage-wise.
Devi.
Yeah.
You have to go and take, hey, do we have the budget? What is budget? That means, if I take this person, does the business allow this salary, because they also have to calculate their profit margins, etc. So that will depend on how much you want to increase. You just can't. But he will say, hey, no, but it's an investment. We have to get the best person. Then obviously, then you will again say, okay, the best person you have to get. That means I have to really increase it by maybe 20%, 30%, or 40%, because that's the kind of a salaries, I mean, IITs or IIMs or ISIs. The critical talent is expensive, right? So
Right.
that's a call you will take. Got it? But you can't just arbitrarily say, I'll increase it by this. You have to get into, is it necessary? Is it important? But say, for example, for an HR manager, you find that the 50th percentile for some data is, there's a huge gap between what you're paying and what the market is paying. And I'll say, it's okay. I'm good with it because there is huge supply and my position is not so critical. HR, they are only doing support. But if I were to hire an HR person for a consulting organization, then I have to hire the best person because I have to pay high salary there. Are you finding the difference?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Like, for example, a chartered accountant. Every time my CA guy would say, why are you paying less salaries for us? To go and see PwC, go and see, Deloitte, they pay high salaries. But look at the job description, look at their job effort. That is much more higher than what a CA is doing in a finance job, right? In an organization. I don't need that much high specialized. So hire a person who is ordinary, average, and pay less salary. Because I don't need that talent. It's not critical for me. But if it is very critical, then I'll pay the best salary and get. So even this lead lag does not mean that I will increase everybody's salaries one go. No, I will make a discretion saying that, this is critical, so I have to get the best. This is not very critical, and also the supply and demand. Supply is huge. IT job, the support function. There are many people to get, so I won't pay a high salary. Okay?
Right,
Okay,
ma'am.
guys. Does it
Yes,
sound?
ma'am.
So it is not something, that it comes straight. You have to work out.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can withdraw. So, guys, with this, we have completed, what is it called? External equity. And we have looked at everything from end to end, what we need to do in a salary survey and how do we analyze, collect data, analyze, and then interpret data and then make market corrections. Okay. And next session tomorrow, it's a very interesting session and the closing session. So I'm sure all of you are motivated and enthusiastic about it. And please do some reading as well, so that you can understand better. And if you have any questions, you can always WhatsApp me. Okay? All right.
How do I